Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're piecing together a really extraordinary story about an alleged conspiracy and whistleblower retaliation, and we're doing it using nothing but the source documents themselves, a whole mountain of legal filings from the man right at the center of it all. So, this entire story is told through a blizzard of legal filings. It's the story of one man, Reynaldo Aguiar Marcano, who claims he is the target of a massive conspiracy. And in his own words, it's all retaliation for his work as a federal whistleblower. So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to walk through the story as he tells it in his own court filings. What's his core accusation? What's this legal maze he says he's trapped in? What evidence does he present? What about this dramatic escalation to the federal government? And then finally, the public story he's building right alongside it. Okay, so let's dive right in. At the absolute heart of all of Aguiar's filings is this one central claim, that this whole legal battle isn't some simple dispute, but a direct, calculated attack on him because of his whistleblower activities. In his formal complaint to the Department of Justice, Aguiar argues that some powerful individuals are basically turning the Texas court system into a weapon against him. He claims the whole point is to silence and discredit him, and specifically for publishing his research from a leaked Venezuelan intelligence database and for filing whistleblower disclosures with the IRS about it. And this is a really, really crucial point you have to get, and you see it on every single document. In this incredibly complex, multi-court battle against established lawyers and judges, Aguiar is acting pro se. That means he's navigating this entire legal minefield completely on his own, with no attorney. Okay, so that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle. This is what Aguiar alleges is the central problem he's facing, that he has been systematically shut out of the very legal system that he is turning to for help. In his filings, he lays out this whole timeline, which to him is basically Exhibit A of a coordinated effort. He claims a state court order was fabricated to strip him of his rights, that state judges then just refused to act on it, and that 2 different federal judges have since blocked his civil rights cases from even getting off the ground. And he says this is all leading up to an imminent hearing where he could actually be jailed. And look, this document right here from the federal court, it shows you exactly what he's talking about. The court doesn't just deny his request, it takes this really extraordinary step of ordering his entire complaint be struck from the record. I mean, that effectively makes it as if his case never even existed. So, what this all leads to, he argues, is a classic catch-22, a legal trap, right? His cases are at risk of getting dismissed because he hasn't served the official summonses, but he claims the very courts that are demanding this are the ones actively preventing those summonses from ever being issued in the first place. All right, now this is where things get really interesting. Aguiar points to one specific event that he calls his smoking gun. The evidence, he says, proves the legal actions against him aren't being taken in good faith. It all kicks off with this letter you see here from the opposing lawyer. Now, on the surface, it looks pretty standard, It seems to be an offer to de-escalate, suggesting they settle their issues and avoid more time in court. But that is not how Aguiar saw it. Not at all. In a filing he sent to the Texas Supreme Court, he calls it something totally different, a transparent trap and a weapon of coercion. He says it wasn't designed for a real resolution, but to force him into accepting an unconstitutional gag order on his whistleblower research. And to prove his point, he actually provides a certified transcript of a recorded conversation. And this is the key moment. He puts his theory directly to the other party, that the threat of a psychiatric evaluation was being used as leverage. The response he gets? Just one word. Correct. I mean, for Aguiar, this is it. This is the admission. So, feeling like he's hit a total brick wall in the Texas courts, what does he do? He decides to go over their heads. He escalates his fight to the highest levels of the federal government. And the filings show exactly how he did it. On January 8th, 2026, he launches this 2-pronged attack. It's pretty bold. He simultaneously takes his case to the U.S. Court of Appeals and files a formal criminal complaint directly with the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. So that first part, the appeal, he's asking for something called a writ of mandamus. Now, you don't hear about these every day. It's a pretty rare and powerful legal move. He's not really arguing the merits of his case. He's just asking a higher court to force a lower court judge to do what he says is their basic mandatory duty. In this case, just to issue the summonses so his case can finally begin. Now, that complaint he filed with the Justice Department, that's even more direct. I mean,
he is not pulling any punches here. He is flat out accusing actors within the judicial system, and that includes state and federal judges, attorneys, and law enforcement of engaging in a criminal conspiracy to violate his constitutional rights.
But here's the thing. This isn't just a legal fight happening behind closed doors. Parallel to all of this, Aguiar is also waging a very public campaign, documenting his experience and his research for the entire world to see. And this right here just captures the two fronts of his battle perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got these meticulously formatted formal legal complaints. And then on the other side, you have these self-published intelligence reports alleging things like international espionage and balloon guiding operations. And his public narrative, it goes way beyond just the courtroom stuff. In these logs from his YouTube channel, for example, he's alleging a campaign of daily harassment by unnamed operatives, including claims of manipulated traffic lights and even tampering with his online accounts. And this is what you've got to keep in mind through all of this. Every single document we've looked at, every motion, every federal complaint, every single public post, it all comes from this one person, acting as his own investigator, his own publisher, and his own attorney. So when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, what these documents really show us is one man's incredibly detailed story. A story of being targeted, of being systematically blocked by the very system that's supposed to deliver justice. And it's a story of his increasingly urgent and high-stakes attempts to find someone, somewhere, who will just hear his case. And after sifting through this mountain of paperwork, you're left with this really fundamental question. When a citizen's complaint isn't about some dispute within the system, but it's about the system itself, well, where do you even go?